Hello and welcome to grammar class. Today's topic is differences between indicative mood, imperative mood and subjunctive mood. But first off, what is mood of verbs in English grammar? Well, the grammatical mood refers to the way or manner in which a verb is used to express or represent the action or the state it denotes. In English grammar, there are three moods of verbs, namely indicative, imperative, and subjunctive. These different moods of verbs indicate the different ways in which we can use a verb to express its action or state. To begin with, I am going to explain the indicative mood. You see, the indicative mood of a verb expresses a fact, a statement, an opinion, or a question. In other words, the indicative mood expresses the reality or whatever is real or true. For example, the sentence I teach English is a statement. Hence, the verb teach is in the indicative mood in this sentence. Then in the next example, the sun rises in the east, we are stating a fact. Therefore, the verb rises in this sentence is also in the indicative mood. In the next example, we have a question. Why are you weeping? So in this interrogative sentence also, the verb are weeping is in the indicative mood. However, sometimes a verb in an interrogative sentence is said to be in the interrogative mood. Woe is no good. This sentence expresses my personal opinion. Hence, in this sentence also, the verb is in the indicative mood. So remember, verbs representing facts, statements, opinions, and questions are said to be in the indicative mood. But what about the imperative mood? The imperative mood of a verb expresses an order, command, request, or an instruction. In imperative sentences, the verb is said to be in the imperative mood. For example, in the sentence, keep silence in the library, the verb keep expresses an instruction, hence it's in the imperative mood. Open the gate. In this sentence, there is an order, so the verb open is in the imperative mood. The next imperative sentence, shoot the criminal, expresses a command. Obviously, the verb shoot is in the imperative mood. Please don't disturb me is a sentence of request. So the negative verb don't disturb is also in the imperative mood. So we understand that verbs in imperative sentences are in imperative mood. Up next is the subjunctive mood. You see, the subjunctive mood of a verb indicates an unreal or hypothetical action, event, or situation. In other words, the subjunctive mood is the opposite of the indicative mood. It expresses whatever is imaginary, wishful, or unreal. The subjunctive has two types, the present subjunctive and the past subjunctive. Well, the present subjunctive mood of a verb expresses a wish, prayer, desire, intention, suggestion, and a purpose. The most important thing to remember here is that in the present subjunctive mood, we use be for verb be and not am, is, are. Remember, these three forms of verb be, am, is, and are used in the indicative mood only. Similarly, for any other verb, we use the base form of the verb in the present subjunctive mood. We cannot use s or yes form or the fifth form of the verb in this mood. So we understand that in the present subjunctive mood, we use only the base or the first form of the verb. For example, the optative sentence, may God bless you. This sentence expresses a prayer. Hence the verb bless in its base form is in the present subjunctive mood. Now look at the next example. We urge that Mr. David be present in the trial room. This sentence expresses a desire. So the verb be, indicative of our desire, is in the present subjunctive mood. Make no mistake, for verb be, we can only use be and not am, is or are in the subjunctive mood. It is recommended that an urgent meeting be held today. In this sentence, the verb be held denotes a suggestion. Hence, it's in the present subjunctive mood in passive voice. In the next example, we want that he apologize to us immediately. There is a wish or desire. So the verb apologize is also in the present subjunctive mood. But as I said earlier, we only use the base form of a verb in the present subjunctive mood. So even after the third person singular subject he, we have used the base form of apologize and not the es or s form. Remember, the fifth form or the s form of a verb is used only in the indicative mood. Now see the last example. We work so that we may earn money. There are two verbs in the two clauses of this sentence. Work in the principal clause and may earn in the subordinate clause. The principal clause, we work, states a fact, so the verb work is in the indicative mood. However, in the subordinate clause, the verb may earn expresses a purpose. Hence, the verb may earn is in the present subjunctive mood. So, obviously, in the previous sentences, in the principal clauses, the verbs urge, is recommended, and want are all in the indicative mood. But in the subordinate clauses, the verbs are in the present subjunctive mood. Well, now let's study the past subjunctive mood. You see, the past subjunctive denotes an unreal or imaginary wish, condition, situation, or action. In other words, we use the past subjunctive mood of a verb to express whatever is unreal or hypothetical. In the past subjunctive mood, for verb be, we use were. Make no mistake, we always use were in the past subjunctive and not was. For all other verbs in the past subjunctive, the simple past and the past perfect tense are used. The modal verbs would and might are also used in the past subjunctive mood. Now here are some examples of past subjunctive verbs on your screen. I wish I were a king. This sentence expresses an unreal or imaginary wish of the speaker. Hence the verb were is in the past subjunctive mood. But the verb wish in the principal clause is in the indicative mood. If I knew the answer, I would tell you. Now this is an imaginary or hypothetical condition. The fact is, I do not know the answer, so I cannot tell you, but I wish to know the answer. Hence both the verbs knew and would tell you are in the past subjunctive mood in this conditional sentence. If the doctor had come, the patient might have survived. This sentence expresses unreal past. This is a hypothetical situation of the past. Actually, the doctor did not come and the patient did not survive. Hence, in this conditional sentence also, the two verbs had come and might have survived are in the past subjunctive mood. The last example, if only he had driven carefully, expresses a hypothetical or imaginary wish of the past that did not take place. And so, in this exclamatory sentence also, the verb had driven in the past perfect tense is also in the past subjunctive mood. The past subjunctive is also used after certain phrases or expressions that denote a wish, imagination or intention. Remember, after as if, as though, it is time, it is high time, would rather, etc., the past subjunctive is always used in the form of were and simple past tense. Now see these examples. She talks as if she were a queen. The use of as if shows imagination here. So the verb were is in the past subjunctive mood here. We notice that even after the third person singular subject she, the verb were is used in the subjunctive mood instead of was. In the next example, it is high time we revolted against this practice. The verb revolted is in the past subjunctive mood because it has come after the expression it is high time and shows an urgent intention. I would rather you travelled by car. Here the expression would rather denotes a wish. Therefore, in this sentence pattern, the verb traveled is in the past subjunctive mood. This sentence simply means I want you to travel by car. Finally, I am going to show you how a particular verb can be used in different moods, that is, in different modes or ways to represent the action denoted by it. For example, in the first sentence, people were physically active in olden times. The verb were is in the indicative mood, simply because it states a fact, a reality. However, in the following sentence, I wish people were physically more active these days. The same verb were is in the past subjunctive mood. Why? Because it expresses a mere wish, something that is not real. We know that in reality, people are not physically active these days. Hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Here both the verbs hope and be are in imperative mood, because they express advice or suggestion. But in the next sentence, I want that we be prepared for the worst. The verb be prepared in the subordinate clause is in the present subjunctive mood, simply because it expresses desire or wish. In this way, the same verb be is used in two different moods in these sentences. In the next example, he always speaks politely. The verb speaks in the simple present tense is in the indicative mood. Here it shows a statement or fact. But in the next example, I desire that he always speak politely. The same verb speak in its base form in the simple present tense is present subjunctive mode. Notice here, we are not using the fifth or the s form of the verb speak even after the third person singular subject he. Like I said earlier, we only use the base form of the verb in the present subjunctive mood. And then in the sentence, I knew his name, a fact is mentioned. Hence the verb knew in the simple past tense is in the indicative mood. On the other hand, in the sentence, I wish I knew his name, the verb knew expresses an imaginary wish. And that's why here the same verb knew is in the past subjunctive mood. In this way, we see how a particular verb can be used in different moods according to its context or the sense in which it is used. That's the end of today's class. Hopefully you liked the video. Please be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to click the notification bell for more grammar content. Thanks for watching.